Hi, I'm Emma Oakley. This is part one, or exam one, part two. This is my prompt sheet because my internet's not working right now. So question one. A recent medical study found that in patients who ate fast food, the number of times their heartbeat per minute was 120. The average person's heartbeat is 75 times per minute. For patients that eat fast food, this means that heart beats more than 6 million times per year. This extra strain on the heart is why scientists believe that eating fast food is linked to heart disease. Using only the information above, what is the scientist's claim? Or what is wrong with the scientist's claim? What is the specific type of slippery evidence presented? So, what is wrong with the scientist's claim is that he claims that just because you eat fast food, it's linked to heart disease. But based off what I read in the example, it does not give you the past medical history of this fast food eating patient. It does not say if the fast food patient eats food all the time, or eats fast food all the time, or if they kind of alternate between fast food, healthy food, if it's just an occasion. So the scientists can't really say that there's a link. There might be a very, 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 very distant link, but he doesn't have enough information to say that just because the heart is beating faster means that it's linked to heart disease. It could be high blood pressure, high cholesterol, born with a heart defect. He doesn't have the patient's actual information. And the type of slippery evidence that is presented, what I would say is that the plot proportions are wrong. And I say that because he doesn't set any parameters. Like there's no, is the person male or female? Are they just eating fast food? Do they have a previous health condition? He needed to specify all of that in the example. Part B, describe how slippery evidence can interfere with human inference. Use the scientist as an example. So slippery evidence can interfere with human inference because you can infer something from slippery evidence, and as time goes on, it can change. So that means that, for example, you might, as a scientist assumes, that eating fast food is linked to heart disease. Down the line, you could eventually figure out that that is in no way the case. He has not proved that fast food is directly linked to heart disease. All right, this goes along with part C. Suppose a second scientist decides to do this follow-up study. In his study, he follows the eating habits of 100 people. The people choose what they eat. Some of the subjects ate no fast food, while others ate only fast food. At the end of the study, the scientists concluded that there was an association between the amount of fast food eaten and whether or not the person developed heart disease. Use the information only in the article. Clearly articulate why the scientists cannot claim that fast food causes heart disease. The reason this scientist cannot claim that fast food causes heart disease is because he doesn't set it so that they're only eating fast food. He lets them eat whatever they want. So they can eat some fast food, some regular food, or just regular food. But he does not tell which people to eat this or this. He just lets them choose. So he has almost a confounding experiment because he does not set standards for the experiment. And so there's the possible lurking variable of, well, I couldn't eat fast food today because who knows, it may have a money issue, like you couldn't go out and buy it. But all right. Exhibit 2. This question deals with the concepts of correlation and causation. There are 5 parts to this question, 4 points each. A. What is correlation and how does it differ from causation? So correlation is a straight line measure of all the different points that were measured on the same individual. So, I'm trying to think. Okay. And how does it differ from causation? This kind of goes into the correlation definition. But causation, normally there is a link a direct link between two variables. And so what's different from correlation is correlation you can just assume like people who eat ice cream are more likely to get eaten by sharks. Well, I eat ice cream, but how does that make me more likely to get eaten by a shark? Almost everyone eats ice cream, and getting bitten by a shark is completely random. So causation, it would be something more like you are more likely to get in a car accident if you are texting while driving, which is proven. But that has a direct link. And so the difference is pretty much, and you can have causation with a correlation, but not correlation. You can have correlation with causation, but not causation without correlation. Because they're pretty much go hand in hand. Next, part B. What is correlation coefficient? You must use 3 pictures to help with your answer. You need to show these pictures in the video. I drew my pictures. So correlation coefficient, when you have correlation, it also you normally have a scatter plot. And the scatter plot, the points all go in a certain direction, so that's association. So for a negative association, you have all of your plots tending to go down to the right. And what a correlation coefficient shows, as you can see here, which is -1, is the value of that association. But the association will always be between -1 and 1. So then you have a positive association, which is upwards to the right, which is going to be a 1. And then there is no association where you simply cannot form a line. And so your correlation coefficient is 0. Alright, part C. Give an example of 2 variables that are associated but have no causal relationship at all. So, like I said in part A, an example of 2 variables that are associated but have no relationship at all could be ice cream and shark attacks. There tend to be ice cream at a beach. I know that's being here at the beach. I eat a lot of ice cream. It's just how it is. But shark attacks, you can't assume a shark is going to attack you because, oh, that person had ice cream, they taste better. That's not what they're after. They're after your blood. But you can't just assume that because you're eating ice cream, you're going to get attacked by a shark. It just doesn't work like that. D. Give an example of 2 variables that are associated and do have a clear causal relationship. So, like I said in part A, texting and driving and accidents. Since texting, it's actually been done in a study by AT&T. I wrote a paper on this last semester. That texting while driving causes more car accidents and ultimately results in some deaths. But the reason they are related is because while you're texting and driving, your mind is more focused on the text itself instead of driving. So you get lost, and in that 5 seconds it takes you to read a text, that's 5 seconds you're not looking at the road, and you're off the road. And then part E. An explanation of why we're studying this as part of our slippery evidence module. In your explanation, use the term lurking variable. Alright, so we're using this in slippery evidence because of a confounding experiment, which is when 2 variables are so similar that you cannot distinguish a response from the treatment. So it kind of goes along with the cause with no relationship at all, like the shark and the ice cream. And there's that lurking variable of, well, how many people were in the water, what that shark wanted to eat that day, how many sharks are in the water. And so a lurking variable is a variable that is there that can mess up your response to any treatment as well. So for a lurking variable, you just want to choose how to not, or design your experiment not to have a lurking variable.